We all know the story of Carthage, right? Hannibal, elephants crossing the Alps, a bitter rivalry with Rome. But what if I told you that story is only half the truth? What if Carthage was more than just a military powerhouse? What if it was a shining beacon of science, technology, and innovation, a civilization whose secrets were deliberately erased from history? Today, we are on a quest to uncover what I call the Carthaginian Code, the lost science of an ancient superpower. Let's journey back in time, not to a battlefield, but to a bustling metropolis on the North African coast. Carthage was the Silicon Valley of the ancient Mediterranean. It was a hub of trade, yes, but also a center for brilliant minds pushing the boundaries of what was known. While Rome was forging an empire with legions and laws, Carthage was building its influence through knowledge, trade routes, and technological marvels that left its contemporaries in awe. The heart of this lost knowledge is what historians tantalizingly refer to as the Carthaginian Code. This isn't a single book, but a collection of lost wisdom. The most famous piece of this puzzle is a monumental work by a man named Mago. Mago wasn't a general. He was an agricultural scientist. He wrote a 28-volume encyclopedia on farming, viticulture, and animal husbandry. This wasn't just a farmer's almanac. It was a scientific treatise so profound, so detailed, that even the Romans, Carthage's mortal enemies, were stunned by it. They considered it one of the greatest treasures they captured from the city. But Mago's work is just the tip of the iceberg. Imagine what else they knew. There are whispers of advanced navigational techniques, secret charts that guided their ships across treacherous seas to tin mines in Britain and perhaps even further. This was knowledge they guarded fiercely, the key to their immense wealth and trade dominance. Was this part of the code? A secret science of the sea that allowed them to go where others couldn't? And their genius wasn't just on paper. It was built into the very fabric of their city. Let's talk about the Coffin of Carthage, their legendary double harbor. This wasn't just a place to park boats. It was an engineering masterpiece, centuries ahead of its time. The outer harbor was rectangular, a commercial port bustling with merchants from across the known world. But hidden behind it was the inner harbor, a perfect circle, exclusively for their military fleet. In the center of this circular harbor was an island with a high tower, allowing the naval commander to oversee the entire fleet of over 200 warships, all shielded from public view. The complex system of docks, slipways, and gates was a marvel of hydraulic engineering. To build something so precise, so functional, required an incredible understanding of physics, material science, and urban planning. It was a statement of power, not just through military might, but through intellectual superiority. The Romans had nothing that could compare at the time. So, where is all this knowledge now? Why aren't we studying Carthaginian engineering in school? The answer is tragic and brutal. In 146 BCE, after the Third Punic War, Rome didn't just defeat Carthage. It sought to annihilate its memory. The Roman general Scipio Aemilianus allegedly ordered the city to be burned to the ground, its walls torn down, and its fields sown with salt. This act of cultural vandalism was catastrophic. Libraries, workshops, and archives, the entire intellectual legacy of a civilization went up in flames. It's one of history's greatest what-ifs. What medical knowledge, what astronomical charts, what philosophical texts were lost in that fire? We'll never fully know. The victors, as they say, write the history books, and Rome wanted the world to remember Carthage only as a worthy foe they had vanquished, not as an intellectual equal or, dare I say, a superior. But fire, as destructive as it is, can't always erase everything. Fragments survived. Remember Mago's agricultural encyclopedia? The Roman Senate valued it so highly that they commissioned a full Latin translation, a rare honor for a work from a conquered enemy. Though the original Punic version is lost, this Roman translation ensured that Mago's insights on crop rotation, soil management, and beekeeping influenced Roman agriculture for centuries. Pliny the Elder, one of Rome's most famous writers, frequently quoted Mago in his own works. So, even in defeat, Carthaginian knowledge was planted like a seed in Roman soil, helping its old rival to flourish. Beyond agriculture, it's likely that Carthaginian shipbuilding techniques and navigational tools were quietly adopted by Roman sailors. True genius is hard to keep down, even when you try to burn it out of existence. So the Carthaginian Code isn't a myth. It was real. It was the collected wisdom of a brilliant and innovative civilization, a legacy of scientific inquiry, engineering prowess, and a deep understanding of the natural world. Carthage was more than Rome's enemy. It was a lost world of science and wonder. Its destruction reminds us that history is not just a story of battles won and lost, but also of knowledge gained and tragically erased. The next time you hear the name Carthage, I hope you'll think beyond Hannibal and his elephants. Think of the engineers who designed the coffin, the navigators who charted unknown waters, and the scientists like Mago who taught the world how to grow. They were the keepers of a code that, even in fragments, changed the course of history. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey to uncover the lost science of Carthage. If you enjoyed this exploration into the forgotten corners of history, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel for more deep dives into the past. Let me know in the comments what other historical mysteries you'd like to see us investigate next. Until then, keep questioning and keep learning.